A Look at Veterans is underwritten by the generous support of Berkshire Bank, America's most exciting bank.
What's your X? What makes you compete? What makes your blood pump? What makes you take risks? What makes you move faster, work harder? What makes you smarter? What makes you love? What's your passion? What excites you? So what's your X? Find your X. Life is exciting. Let us help.
A Look at Veterans is underwritten by the generous support of the factory outlets of Lake George. Over 50 great stores in one central location. Exit 20 off the Northway.
Everyone needs an outlet. The factory outlets of Lake George. One great location. Huge factory savings from designer brands like Eddie Bauer, Gap, LL Bean, Brooks Brothers, Under Armour, Carter's, and many more. Visit factoryoutletoflakegeorge.com for special offers and a VIP coupon book. Located just off Exit 20 on the Adirondack Northway. The factory outlets of Lake George. Everyone needs an outlet.
A Look at Veterans is underwritten by the generous support of Victory Funding. We deliver the best service with the highest level of expertise in the industry, and we are a local, veteran-owned business. Let us help you achieve your real estate goals. A Look at Veterans is underwritten by the generous support of the following companies and individuals. Erbessd Reliability Instruments and Vibrolaser Instruments Corporation are masters of machine health. CEFQ, changing lives every day. And Jim's Glass Service. Thanks for the break. Full Moon Bar and Grill. The best place on earth is the moon. Or Apollo's Wine and Liquor, the liquor store with spirited and sparkling personality. And Bob's Trees, family owned and operated since 1942.
Our careers started behind the red line as maintainers, flight line warriors. We learned precision and predictive maintenance on critical United States Air Force aircraft where there is no margin for error. Today, the team at Erbessd Reliability and Vibrolaser develops cutting-edge tools and technologies that keep your production machines running. Dynamic balancing, vibration analysis, laser alignment, masters of machine health.
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, it's A Look at Veterans. My co-host, Cheryl Hage-Perez, who is the Executive Director of Vet Help, otherwise known as
Veterans and Community Housing Coalition.
Well, thank you very much.
In 10 years, you'll get it.
I know. Probably take me 10 years,
I'll be
by the way.
retired, and you'll...
Hopefully, we're still doing this series.
We'll still come back and do the series.
And we've got a lot to get through. If you've been watching the series, you know that we've had experts in a number of different fields. Well, a good personal friend of mine, Mike Howard here, I've known for a better part of a decade now, served in the Air Force as well as his partner, Chris Keniston. And we thought it would be important to bring in two veterans to just talk about the transition, what from military to civilian, what's involved with that? What are the ups and what are the downs? And we started this conversation before the interview, and we got a lot to cover.
We got a lot to cover, and I think hearing their viewpoint to veterans who are currently transitioning will be a source of hope and direction. Mm-hmm. And so many veterans come out, and I'm sure they're going to explain better what the difficulties are.
Good. You know, Mike, I'm going to start with you because we've known each other for a better part of a decade. One thing that always impressed me about you, very focused guy. You know, you say what you mean what you say, and you get it done. You were saying that a lot of that comes from actually understanding, by being in the service, what relationships were like, what it meant to keep your word.
Yeah, it was you're counting on the people that you're serving with to deliver on what they have to do as part of their job. So, if somebody falls through, they're just letting you down. So you're constantly focused on making sure that you deliver for your brothers and sisters in arms, no matter what it is. It doesn't matter if you're a chow hall cook or what.
Yeah, got it. I'm sure you feel the same way, Chris, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The training that you received in the military, valuable to you?
Yeah, invaluable. You can't really put a price tag on it.
Yeah.
Everything that I've done as a civilian since I left the military is an extension of what I learned while I was there.
Now, you serve in our country, you make these relationships, you understand, you maybe get some skills, to take you into civilian life. Then you go into transition. What's that like?
It can be difficult because, for a number of years you're pretty much told what to do, when to be there, how to do it, and it's very structured. And then when you get out of the military, there's a number of challenges, but the structure's not there, number one, and the programs and services that should be there probably aren't as good as they should be, I think. And the last part is the civilian workplace is not the military workplace. So the brotherhood and the kind of loyalty and camaraderie that you build in the military doesn't exist outside in the civilian world very easily.
Do you feel that the military provides enough support and guidance and guidelines for you as you're transitioning to prepare you for civilian life?
I actually got out of the military a number of years ago. Chris got out after me, but I will say that when I got out of the military, I didn't feel like I was prepared. I feel that the transition assistance program, is what they call it, was nothing more than a checklist of things to get you out processed.
Chris, you served 14 years?
Yes, 14.
And when you were ready to transition, did they offer you any guidance or any direction on what to look for in civilian life?
There was a 1 week transition program that all departing personnel had to check off a checklist.
So there were no individual counseling sessions?
No, not for the military member themselves, no individual counseling really. Just general stuff that all people might want to know when departing the service, but nothing very specific.
Wow.
I think one of the things I'd like to ask you is, you both have been very successful in transitioning, and I would like to know how important the job that you had in the military helped you in your transition and in the careers that you both have now.
I think for me it was a blessing. When I joined the military, I joined in an open mechanical testing situation, meaning I could have been any kind of mechanical job, but for some reason they selected me to be an Air Force crew chief. So I worked on jet engines and all the Air Force systems on A-10s, F-4s, and U-2s, and it was great. So when I got out of the military, it was a pretty easy transition from jet engines and jet turbines to the power generation world, the maintenance and reliability engineering world. It all ties together. So I was pretty blessed in my transition.
I understand. There was something that Chris had said to me before the interview, was that, Mike returned to his town.
Yeah.
There was an extended family kind of feeling to that. Roots, exactly right. You didn't have that. That's a tough transition.
It can be. I think your transition is a lot dependent upon where you leave and where you go after you leave.
Yes, yeah, right.
A situation like Mike, who basically came back home where he had lived before the Air Force, he had some foundations, some roots, some people to lean on when he got home.
Yes.
If he needed to.
Yeah.
Situation like mine, which, we're not unlike anyone else in the world. When you leave the military, you need your next paying job, and you take whatever you can find wherever it is. And, I ended up in Kentucky. I'd never lived in Kentucky. I had no roots in Kentucky. So for me, it was another transition to a place I'd never been. But the unfamiliarity of the area, when you transition from one military base to another, you have an understanding what's going to be there when you arrive. There's going to be certain offices, certain services, the stores. You know what's going to be there, and you just have to figure out where it is. Not the same situation when you transition back to civilian life. You end up in an unfamiliar area. You don't know where the services are. You don't know who to go to. And sometimes it can be very difficult to identify who and where those people are if you need some guidance.
And the guidance, by the way, and you probably know if you've watched the series, Veterans Administration is supposed to supply services. It's a big bureaucracy. It's very difficult to get through. Mike was telling me about just some of the forms, and they tell you up front it'll take you 2 or 3 hours to get your ID number or something like that. So, there's a lot to fix. And I was thinking about what you and myself, what we can do about this. We have the power to vote. We have the power to put politicians in place who care about our veterans, who actually do something. We have the opportunity to volunteer to help so that when people move into a marketplace after serving our country, they have an extended family, that they have people that they can talk to, employment opportunities for them. You hear it often about hiring a vet. Now, you can't do any better than hiring a veteran. So, those are the things that we can do. And by the way, I want to plug something here for a second, if I can. Like I said, I've known Mike for 10 years. Well, he and Chris formed a company called Erbessd Reliability right in Queensbury. And it's a very technical company, so don't ask me to explain what it is that you do. But day to day, every single day, and I see Mike a lot, very dedicated to contributing back to the community, taking what they learned in the service and making a successful go of it right here in our community. So that's Erbessd Reliability. And you're going to have to Google them to figure out what they do, but I know it's complicated. But you know what? Great, Michael. Thank you for taking the time to come in. Chris, thank you for taking the time to come in. And raising some awareness from your perspective.
As veterans.
Yes, exactly right. What could be more important, right? Good to see you, too.
It's always good to see
you.
You
asked good questions today.
That
was fantastic. Thank you.
Well, you gave me an opportunity today.
Oh, that's good. Oh, okay. Well, look, if you want to see this interview again, and please tell your friends about it. Let them see this. Go to our website, looktvonline.com.